I remember when the students arrive and you're giving everyone hugs and they're sitting down at their desk. And the students sitting near Matthew's desk put up their folders because they didn't know how to react to his empty desk. And that resonates and sits with me now to this day.
Hello, and welcome to Guess Who Died, a podcast where we talk about who died and how we feel about it with Jeff, myself, Julia, and producer KC. All right, Jeff, I heard you were teasing one, but who died?
Well, we really can't not talk about what happened yesterday with Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
That was mine.
I know. It's just I can't.
No, you didn't steal it. It's okay. It's just
I was
sad.
curious to know if Julia even knew.
I do. Yes,
Yeah,
I
okay.
did. I watched The Cosby Show. I didn't
Okay.
realize until much later that Raven Simone was the
Yeah.
little, she was so
Yes.
cute. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely, that was one of my reruns that I watched growing up.
So Theo Cosby Show died from an accidental drowning in Costa Rica yesterday at 54 years old.
Wow.
Another man was injured. He's critical right now. He's in the hospital, but he pulled out, swept away, and went under, and I guess just didn't have the strength to get out. And that's
Very real.
Those
Very
riptides
real.
are crazy.
Yeah. It's scary and it happens.
And he had still stayed pretty relevant.
Yeah.
He had shown up in Dexter. He was on The Wonder Years. He was on American Horror Story Freak Show.
Wow. Wait, was he? I don't remember that.
911. He was on
Yep, I
that
remember
just
911.
recently.
Yeah.
That's a sad death to see Theo go.
Tell me, Julia, okay, what's your Theo episode that you remember?
None. I remember him from the
Okay.
intro with the outfit, with the hat and the matching outfit.
Okay.
That's all I remember, the fashion.
I remember when Denise, when she made him a shirt.
Oh.
And
I
one
remember that.
sleeve was longer than the other. It was a silk shirt. It was a blue and gold shirt, and it just didn't fit at all. And it looked all haywire. She wanted to be in fashion, and he wore it. It just that's the one episode I'll never forget with him.
I remember an episode where he was learning to shave. And they were teaching him how to shave. That was an incredible episode.
Do you remember when Cliff tried to teach him how to cut the turkey?
Yes.
First, you take the bird. And
Okay. Anyone else on your list then?
I was gonna say,
Julia?
you took mine, so I'm over here Googling
Googling.
celebrities who died. I keep seeing celebrities and I will see them, not know who they are, and then I will
Get
put
the info.
no further thought into it. No, the opposite. I'm like, I guess I don't know that person. I'm sure someone else will pop up that I know. And then it wasn't until last night that Malcolm-Jamal
Yes.
Warner. And so even looking at this list in front of me, I don't know who these people are.
Well, I've got one for you. then,
Please.
because clearly one that has to be talked about.
Go ahead.
Michael Madsen.
Yes.
Okay.
familiar with him.
Julia.
Oh, it sounds like a golfer.
No, Michael Madsen is an actor. He's, again, got a laundry list of experience. But any experience with Tarantino films?
Yeah.
Okay. He was big in Tarantino films.
Oh,
In
yes.
Kill Bill, he was Bill's brother, but most notoriously in Reservoir Dogs, he had a scene where he tortured an individual, but he was a really good actor.
He had the edgy, badder guy, and it
Yes,
wasn't always a
yes.
terrible person, but it was
Yeah.
always the
flawed,
the dark, yes.
flawed and dark. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. Well, he was 67 and had a heart attack, but
Gosh.
yeah,
It does happen.
but
for
had
sure.
a great career. He had a great career.
See, I'm surprised Julia didn't bring Dave Parker, former baseball
yeah,
player in
yeah.
Hall of Fame.
I'm in such deep mourning about this that I wasn't ready to talk about it. When we lose a baseball legend,
I know, right?
I go dark.
The unfortunate about that, he finally got into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And before the induction, he had passed, and that's
They were-
really sad there.
That is so similar to your story of you and your dad's trip.
Yes.
Yes.
And I did think of that today before I came in about, Nellie Fox got inducted. Now he had long passed. My dad told me we were going to go see Nellie Fox's induction, and a little over a month prior is when Dad passed, and we didn't get to go do that together. But yeah, I did think about that today.
It was very similar.
Yeah, very-
I read similarly, again, little known fact, I love collecting baseball cards and baseball memorabilia. And so on the most recent set, they were trying to get all the new inductees to sign baseball cards for to be sold.
Yeah.
And Dave couldn't sign. He was just too ill at the time when they were trying to get them all done. So reading about that, thinking, oh, it's close.
And we didn't lose her. She's still here. She didn't. She didn't go blank.
Glazed over a little bit. I did remember someone else that died, actually.
Okay.
Sophia Hutchins.
Yes.
Pop culture. Sophia and Caitlyn Jenner have been long-term partners, rumored romantic partners, but have never
didn't know that.
confirmed. They've like lived together for 10 years or something.
Wasn't she somewhat of an agent or some sort
Yes.
of kind of business
Yes.
partner as
I
well?
think she was Caitlyn's manager or something, but
yes.
I don't live with my manager. I don't know about you. So it seemed like they were on the TV show together, but she was young. She was 29. And she died in an ATV accident, which is, I know. So much like Malcolm-Jamal, I mean, it's just like these sudden, tragic, unexpected deaths that can just rock you. You're expecting to be on vacation, you were expecting to just be riding your ATV, and now everyone's life has changed.
Yeah.
We got the older folks. One heart attack. We got Dave Parker was sick and then too sudden, and that's just how it is. And we deal with that every single day in the world. And
Absolutely. And I think it gives us a good segue, Julia, as we look at, your comments about young people taken in these almost, dare I say, freak accidents.
Yeah.
Well, we have someone coming in today to chat just a little bit about that.
Our guest today, I mean, I cannot wait to hear her tell her story, because there's almost two pieces to it that would be shocking enough on their own, and yet they are so enmeshed in a way that I can't begin to share. So I will let our guests do the talking. But when we come back, we are going to be joined in studio by dear friend of the pod, Whitney.
can't wait.
See you soon on Guess Who Died. Olivia's House is an independent, freestanding, nonprofit grief and loss center that supports children and their families before, during, or after a loss, all at no cost. When death enters your house, you are welcome at our house, where families are met with professional care, expert guidance, and resources for children and teens of any age. Nestled in central Pennsylvania, Olivia's House continues to be the premier independent grief and loss center.
And welcome back to Guess Who Died. I'm Jeff with Julia, and Casey is in the studio as well. And joining us today,
Whitney.
hello, Whitney.
We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much.
You brought that summer energy into the pod. We know you are a vacationer at heart. You work so hard, but when the summer comes around, it's time to have some fun.
That is true. You are right on that.
Love. Thank you for bringing that energy. We needed that here on Guess Who Died today. The name of the podcast, obviously, is Guess Who Died.
Mm-hmm.
We have not had a guest on that has a story anything like yours. But I got to be honest, I don't even really know your story. So can you tell us who died?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me on. My name is Whitney Belomo, and I am a first grade teacher of 25 years, a proud educator in Dallastown.
Educator of the Year finalist.
Oh, there's that too.
Yes.
Thank you. But on September 10th, 2001, I lost a student tragically, suddenly at the York Fair. His name's Matthew. And that was my second year of teaching. There is nothing that prepares you for that moment. And at that time, there wasn't Olivia's House. That didn't exist. We weren't trained as educators at that time how to deal with grief and loss. No one prepared you for that moment. Since we have done a great job of changing that. But going back 24 years, so day before 9/11, I get the call that Matthew died suddenly. Again, wasn't trained in this moment. So you go with your heart and your gut, and you make decisions on how to inform families, because it happened in the evening. And so your heart leads. And then the next day is 9/11. And, there are all my students knowing Matthew had passed away, their classmate, their friend. And then we're in that moment dealing with grief and loss, and 9/11 is happening around us. So now we have a country that is scared. So it just leads to a week of complete tragedy for everyone, and coping with it, and coping with everything that's happening in the world at the time. So it was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you even just say September 10th, 2001, and everybody gets that feeling of, oh, okay.
Where were you? You know,
Yeah.
everyone knows where they were.
Yes. And for that to be this tragic day for your classroom,
Yes.
followed by the most tragic day for our country.
Correct.
That was already impossible for teachers to navigate 9/11. How did you do that with a classroom full of bereaved children?
There were great people around me that were helping that day. Our psychologists, our guidance counselors, the administration, my coworkers, everybody just stepped up and lended a hand and a heart and a hug. And I remember when the students arrive and you're giving everyone hugs and they're sitting down at their desk. And the students sitting near Matthew's desk put up their folders because they didn't know how to react to his empty desk. And that resonates and sits with me now to this day because I realized, wow, we have to make a very quick decision on a desk. And in that moment, that's again where your heart leads, because again, I wasn't trained properly. So in that moment, I created a Matthew's Corner. Just happened because I saw their reaction. So that's how Matthew's Corner took place. And then we created a Matthew's Corner, realized I needed that space for his desk, his space, but it became a place for us to grieve and to celebrate him and to make little cards for him. And we included him in the year by finding ways to get to Matthew's Corner and putting things on his desk, whether it was a toy, it was a sticker, but it was at Matthew's Corner.
Wow.
And that's how we kept that desk. So that's my biggest moment of realizing, wow, this is big, and how we handle this, and every moment matters. The immediate next day, Matthew, when he first came in, got me stickers. And I'm a Disney fan, love Disney. He came in and gave me Disney stickers. So when Matthew passed, we hadn't done anything with these stickers yet. So again, it became an immediate moment. I decided we would use these stickers and we would all put them somewhere special so we could remember our friend. So some friends took them home. Some friends put them on their folder. Some friends put them on their, basketball because they played basketball with Matthew, or they put them somewhere that mattered to them. I put mine on my teacher badge because I always said that way he was close to my heart. So to this day, 24 years later, I have since changed my sticker. Don't worry. But it's always still Matthew stickers. I still have his stickers. And there's a sticker on my badge. Most people don't even realize it's there, or they just think it's my love of Disney, but it's my way to always honor Matthew.
So you helped the children, dealing with their grief.
Sure.
They mourned. How did you see how they mourned? Is it
differently for everyone, because there are some kids, they cry, they're outward. There are some kids who just don't have that reaction. You don't see those outward signs. You don't see those tears. We wrote cards. We made cards for Matthew, or we wrote a lot or drew pictures. If you're feeling sad or you're feeling, it could be a happy moment of, I'm really thinking of Matthew, then draw a picture about it.
I love your instincts, Whitney. I mean,
Yes.
even just when the folders went up on the desk, you said we had to make a decision,
Right
and I
there.
had to figure out what to do. And a lot of adults would have whisked that desk out in the hallway.
Yes.
And would have said, oh, it's bothering the kids. It's upsetting them.
Yes.
I don't want the parents calling me that the kids are upset. And so the desk is out. Call the custodian, and we need it ASAP.
Yes.
Your instinct was the exact opposite. And that is such a gift, both to your kids and to yourself and to Matthew.
Yes.
But I just need to point that out, that doesn't speak
Thank
so
you.
highly to your character. And then to go on, that when you are having these feelings, let's get them out creatively.
Yes.
That is how this age group processes and expresses. And you know that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was important.
Can I ask how, when you kept the desk in the room, how did parents, administrators, everybody around, did everybody react positively to that?
So they did. Where I teach is a loving, warm, embracing community. And they love this family. This is a family that is so involved in our community, and they embraced them. So they did fully support that and realized they too needed to recognize Matthew and honor him. And they fully wrapped their arms around me and around my kids and found ways to celebrate Matthew. It's a remarkable, remarkable community.
I'm curious, because you said the kids came in the next day and they knew.
They knew. So what I did the night before, when I got the call, I made the decision to call every family that night And I repeated that conversation from what I knew, the facts that I knew, so they could decide how to tell their children first. Some people told them that night, some people the next morning, but they all did know walking into the school.
Wow.
So that way they got to tell their kids.
What made you react like that?
Instinct. I always say this. I don't even know. It was instinct.
As a second-year teacher,
Second year
I mean,
teacher,
this would
right?
make some run for the hills. And you are...
I embraced grief without realizing I was just embracing grief. Now I'm knowledgeable about it because I have embodied Olivia's house and made it part of. I learn every time I'm with this staff. I want to learn something else to help someone else. But at the time, it's pure instinct.
How much was Matthew's family involved with everything that you did in the classroom and outwardly?
They were facing their own grief that week. So that week was real trauma and for some time. But after that, another thing we did the week of, so by Friday, we did a balloon release. So we favorite color was red. So we got red balloons and we did a balloon release outside. Their families came in. I invited these families because this is a family unit. My classroom is the whole family. So on Friday, they all came in. We talked about this grief, this loss. My superintendent was there. And I invited everyone there, and we talked about Matthew, and then we talked about how we let go without not forgetting. So we wrote messages on the red balloon. We walked outside as a family, and then we let them go. And the family was a part of it. Now, 24 years later, let me put a full disclosure. Would I still do that? I would not for the safety of turtles. Right. Please, I'm being very clear, okay? But at the time... it was instinct again. No, I would choose how to handle that moment a little differently. But balloon release 24 years ago was just how we followed up with that.
Absolutely. And I know times have changed.
Exactly.
It seems so cringy that we would release that much plastic into the air and not care at all where it landed. But it is such a beautiful ritual.
Yes.
And that is always the key, is making meaning out of our experience.
Correct.
Not saying it happened for a reason, saying it happened.
Yes.
Let us find meaning as we move forward.
Yes. Current day, though, we also planted a tree for Matthew. For the school. It's still there, even through our construction. Matthew's tree is still there honoring Matthew. Now I would use colorful rocks and we would write messages. That's how I would handle it in present day.
Yeah.
But this school community really just engulfed all of us. They wrote letters to my kids. I can remember other classrooms coming down and giving us cards. And I realized this school was just hugging all of us because while we lost our friend, this school realized you've lost someone important to us. So, they wrote cards to us. And I thought, boy, that speaks of our community.
Highly.
And the people I taught with.
And through the years with that class, I mean, every year did they have like some kind of together remembrance of Matthew?
So 1 year anniversary. We did do a special 1 year anniversary. And by that point, this family was so much more involved. We also then, when that group was graduating, oh gosh, it was a special, it actually was the 10 year and this group is graduating and Matthew's not. So we all came back, some of my retired staff, those kids, and it wasn't just my classroom, it was anybody that would be graduating that year that I didn't teach, but they were still Matthew's friend. We did a special celebration of life for him. At that anniversary, we honored those seniors. We let the family speak. We let friends speak about their memories. And Olivia's house actually came to that celebration and they spoke. And then at our 20th anniversary, we also did a celebration. There is, at Leg Up Farm, there is Matthew's Town. And so Matthew is honored up at Leg Up Farm, that whole community. It helps kids with special needs, and it's named after Matthew. So we moved to the 20th anniversary up there to realize where we have found that moment of moving forward. I call it the sunshine after the rain.
You as a teacher, 24 years later,
Sure.
If you could talk to year 2 teacher Whitney, what would you say, and how would you say, you did exactly the right thing, or I would do this, Because it sounds like your instincts were spot on.
Boy, great question. I would say, wow, you did amazing things with not knowing
Yeah.
anything about grief and loss. So I would say, pat on the back, great job following your heart. And I think I try to remind teachers of that. There's a heart there, and just that heart instinct. Would I change that? I'm my worst critic.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all, right? The balloons, that's a big one for me. Would not do that balloon release now, but
But I was going to say, besides the balloon release, what
besides
would
the
you-
balloon release, I would actually give kudos to young, naive Whitney and looking out for those kids and looking out for their well-being, and just realizing I had to make sure the kids that are there, that their feelings are heard, their emotions are seen. Yeah, I'd give a pat on the back for that one.
Well deserved.
For sure.
I'm curious, similar but different question. What advice would you have for a teacher, today's teacher, which is very different from the needs of 20 plus years ago teacher? I mean, behavior and family dynamics, and there's a lot that contributes now, but what tools do you think have outlasted the trends of mental health that would be beneficial to a teacher?
It comes back to relationships. I say this all the time, and it's what I innately believe is form relationships with your kids and their families, and know the people around you. Like, I knew Matthew, I knew his family. Know those kids like your own. Love them like your own. I always say Matthew actually taught me more than I ever got to teach him. He made me a better teacher. He made me love and value kids that walk in my room. I genuinely love them like my own. And any parent can feel that from me. He made me value being a better mother, value experiences, value moments versus things with our daughter. That matters, those experiences. And I also say Matthew made me and my family to be more philanthropic. We believe in embracing places such as Olivia's house, and how can we help more kids, and being philanthropic and caring about people further than what the people you know. There are people you will never meet, but you have touched their lives by supporting nonprofits, for example. It's what led me to Olivia's house.
It's a powerful legacy. It really is. And
Thanks.
for, such an inspiration.
And you mentioned your daughter. Yes. Moving forward and experiences in your personal life, how has that affected how you've dealt with grief with your daughter and your family, and altogether grieving for losses in your life?
Yes, because at the time I had not had that experience. Grandparents died very young before me. So I did not experience grief and loss at the time. But for my daughter, she lost a grandparent. So my husband's mother. So learning how to cope with that, realizing grief is a reality, and being very upfront and open about it. That was the biggest game changer. And talking about it. It's okay to talk about it.
Yes. I think so many adults are afraid of children and grief. And you were confronted by it. I mean, not that you were scared of it. You dove head first, but you also had to. You had to show up and be Miss Wilmo at the front of the classroom and be in charge, even if your heart was shattered and you were scared and confused and you were comfortable. You said our favorite phrase here is embrace the awkward. Yes. You embraced the awkward and you said, okay, you're putting your folders up. We're figuring something out.
Yes.
And we're doing it as a family. And that is what made this experience, I think, just amazing, is you were willing to go there.
You're right.
I'm still amazed. Yeah.
Amazed.
I always say before this, the unimaginable moment of losing a child as a parent, losing a child, unimaginable grief. And what I've realized in the moment is, through every family that loses a little one, there is a classroom, there is a school, there is a teacher losing that person. And we have to make sure we figure out how to support them. And that's what Olivia's house does. It's why I believe so passionately in this nonprofit, because you have helped train and educate teachers and families, and you just have made a great change in this. So I'm grateful for it.
What's the differences that you've seen since 20 some years ago, handling grief in a school.
Yes.
What are the differences you've known? I mean, obviously there's probably a lot of big differences.
I don't cower from it. I will get a call from a staff at Olivia's house and they say, there is a teacher that needs your help. And I sit there and talk to that teacher because they're about to lose a student. I mean, the one recent is in my brain. And making that teacher realize they're not alone, and offering my support and my ideas and what I did and how they can help, that is how I pass it forward.
There is something amazing, and I say this often, especially to adults who get worried that loss is going to damage their child permanently.
Yes.
And I will say, these are the experiences that put emotional meat on our bones. These are the things that, whether you say it toughens you up or it gives you thicker skin, however you want to put it. But when I do need someone, when I need an expert, a teacher who has lived it and been there and can support, who am I calling? You, Whitney.
Thank you.
You know, and do I wish that I never had to meet you
Yes.
and that, you know, and that none of this had ever happened? Obviously.
Absolutely.
But it did happen.
Yes.
And look at the magic that is being made because of it and the
Yes.
people that are being able to be supported only because of Matthew.
Yes.
And because of your wonderfulness after the fact. But it's just amazing. You know, we have emotional meat on our bones. We can use that to help other people.
I thank Matthew for that all the time.
Yeah.
He shaped me. He truly, truly shaped me into the educator I am.
I'm still, you know, I years ago I'd heard the story, and I being refreshed on this story, I've forgotten how early on in your career you were, and it's shaped you as a teacher. It shaped you in your career. Like we said earlier, you're up for finalists for Teacher of the Year in Pennsylvania. How have you drawn from it over the years to be the teacher you are?
Thank you. It's that follow your heart moment, and the people around you matter. The teachers around you matter. The kids around you matter. My school community matters. So it teaches me to love with all of my heart to my kids and to that school family. That's truly shaped me to who I am. So being recognized as a PA Teacher of the Year finalist that was a humbling moment this year. You do not do this profession for any ounce of recognition. You do it to change lives and to help children because you believe in that passionately. To receive such recognition has it's forced me to pause and realize I've had a remarkable 25-year career and I'm honored to do this. So it's tremendous. It's truly been tremendous.
Obviously, the children, the students have been in very good hands.
I was going to say, you deserve the recognition.
I love them.
It's not just the idea of you recognizing how important community is. It's you're instilling that in your students.
Yes.
And so they know that if they lose a classmate, that's a family member, but also that I can go to my teacher or I can go to someone in the community and we're all mourning that same person.
That is correct.
Instilling those values is not something that all children get from all avenues. So that's crucial.
Yes.
Are you still in touch with most of the students from that class?
Every year. These are my kids. I've taught over 450 kids now. But that group is special. They will always be special. That group of kids is so tight and they're connected in a special way with each other, with me, with the school. They're special. They truly are.
And it shaped your life outside of the schools too, I'm
100%.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Whitney,
100%.
thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so open. And I can't wait to recommend this episode to our teachers, our people that are looking for, and our everybody. But this story is going to continue helping people. And I can't wait to see what other plans you might have in the future as far as telling Matthew's stories.
That's my goal. I want to keep sharing Matthew's story and make sure it continues past my teaching time.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned, everyone, and keep an eye on the pod. If we have any new releases coming out from Whitney, we will be sure to let you know.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Great talking to you again.
Absolutely. And we have a tradition that we do on every episode, so grab your drink. We like to toast to our person that we're missing. So on the count of 3, we will say to Matthew. 1, 2, 3. To Matthew.
Yes.
Thanks, Whitney.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Guess Who Died.
Guess Who Died is brought to you by Olivia's House, a grief and loss center for children. Olivia's House is a community-funded organization that provides comfort and education to families when they need it most, and we are able to keep our doors open thanks to donations from people just like you. Find out ways to support or get support from Olivia's House by visiting www.oliviashouse.org.
We are back with Guess Who Died with a breaking news alert. Jeff, in the time that we broke since recording our intro and interviewing Whitney, and now someone has died.
Mama, he's coming home.
Prince of Darkness himself.
Ozzy Osbourne passed away today at 76.
Yes. Just a week, 3 weeks after his last show.
It's almost like he retired, he was done, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, we've often said, like, whether you subscribe or not, that a soul knows its time.
Mm.
And it feels almost as if he knew his time. He was ready. He completed and was good to go.
Yeah. I mean, Casey, you were saying he sat during his
sat.
performance, which so would I, no matter what decade I'm living in. I mean, his daughter Kelly just got engaged to Slipknot band member. I mean, that was kind of a public thing. I mean, but good things are happening. You know,
Yeah.
I know my grandma wanted to check with all of her grandkids before she died to make sure we were solid. There's something to that where you can allow yourself to let go. But
The way the Osbournes have segued from their reality show back in the day, and how Kelly has turned out and how Jack has turned out and Sharon and the whole family, and the way things tied up on July 5th for that show, which is going to be made into a documentary. I'm just... I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
To be
And,
honest.
you know, you have to think about, and that's one of the things that I appreciate about this show, is not just looking at the individual Ozzy, right, but the impact societally that he's had. And you look at all those artists that performed at the concert, whether that kind of genre of rock is your thing or not, its influence is huge. His influence was massive.
yeah.
Just all over the board. So can't deny
Absolutely.
it.
I mean, and to give you a little peek behind the scenes, I mean, I yelled into the mic, "Oh my God," when we got the
jumped out of my
news.
seat.
Yeah, I broke everyone's eardrums. And then Jeff immediately had to rip his headphones off and hop on the phone to make sure that his radio station was playing Ozzy tributes and Ozzy songs this afternoon. So I hope I'm not spoiling anything. We can cut this if we need, but when you talk about that, Casey, that's what I think of is
Right.
people are going to be hearing that and listening to that and feeling something.
And I think they were kind of one of the first reality TV shows, right? The Osbournes.
As far as the family goes, yes.
Yeah. And so I think that my generation grew up. We knew, I didn't know Ozzy as Black Sabbath. I knew Ozzy as the burrito loving,
Same.
curmudgeon who loved the History Channel. And so that's the person I know. Now getting to look back at what Sabbath was and what Ozzy was and Howl at the Moon, like those sorts of things are so meaningful.
My first memory of anything Ozzy was his music. I was on the school bus, and in the back of the bus, I heard the laughing at the beginning of Crazy Train.
Crazy Train, yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? And I'm like middle school, so I don't know who Ozzy is.
Right.
Well, I learned later that, when I started playing Crazy Train, I'm like, oh, it takes me back now. But yeah, Ozzy was a big impact on music and big loss in music business.
Yeah.
Even him stepping away was a
Yes.
loss.
Here we go. So that was not the outro we were expecting to jump off into, especially after such an awesome interview with our beloved guest, Whitney. But we could have, just like Whitney taught us, sometimes you have to expect the unexpected, and Ozzy Osbourne's death was unexpected. But much like Whitney had, we have our community around us of lovers of his music
And following our heart, we even questioned, should we talk about this or wait till then? No, we're
following our
heart.
instincts.
Yeah.
We said, should we save it till the next pod? But we're rolling with the flow. So I mean, Jeff, what's your take? Because Whitney she just pours out heart, like you said.
I'm amazed as a second-year teacher going through something like that early on in her career, the instincts and what she did with her classroom, what she did with Matthew's desk, how they made it a little memory to him, a little grieving area to him, a place where kids could go to put toys or notes or cards. And that's such an amazing thing. And the way it's continued through the years ever since it's just an amazing story for a young teacher to go through that. And on top of that, 9/11 the day after.
Oh my gosh. I mean, just the shakeup and what we didn't get into too much, but I can only imagine that 9/11 would be a zap of resources that the administration and the community and people that Whitney would need to be helping her might be preoccupied with this national tragedy. But it sounds like no. It sounds like even with all this other stuff going on, these players still made sure to prioritize this team and the staff. And that's amazing.
I think a lot of that credit is owed to Whitney. I think that she saw her student and she saw her students and she stood up for their needs. I think so oftentimes, Julie, I think you can attest to this, being a clinical director here, we're told, they're first graders. They don't really, what do they really know? And she is the person that's up there going, oh yeah, yeah, they do. We can see it. I can feel it. And we need to address it. I think that's so important. So it would have been easy to just give way to 9/11 and that didn't happen. But Whitney was the one who stood up for her class and said, nope.
I think the impact for that classroom, the bigger impact was Matthew than what was going on TV screen.
Yep.
Yes.
First grade,
Yes.
you don't understand it exactly as a high schooler, middle schooler, adult. But when you just lost a classmate, that's priority.
Right.
For sure.
And that's why I agree. I'm just one, like, I remember I was a child when 9/11 happened. I remember the adults being chaotic. I remember just the adults were all grasping, and a lot like COVID, that it was just like no one knew what to do, and did we mess up, and there's a lot of TVs in the classroom. And so that's why I'm just amazed, and you're right, Casey, it is testament to Whitney and her advocacy, because that's more where my head is at, that of course these first graders don't know anything about 9/11 or are focusing on that, but the adults still made time to acknowledge this. I mean, in that first week, to have all of these rituals and things going on, I just think it's amazing. And Whitney is clearly where she is meant to be in that role.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And beyond proud, disclaimer of sorts that Whitney is actually the board president at Olivia's House of Grief and Loss Center for Children. There's no surprise to why. And as a finalist for PA Teacher of the Year, grief and loss and bereavement is her platform. I think we can all see why. She really believes in this mission and in all that children deserve.
Yes.
And I said to her before she left, I'm like, the first time I met you, did you think we'd be sitting where we are today in this house doing this thing and being as big a part of it? And, it's not surprising, but it is, because it's such a great thing to be a part of. This is beautiful. And just seeing where she started out in the grieving process for her life, because she said she lost before she was born, and the way she handled it and the way she's evolved into where she's at now, just amazing.
One of the beautiful things that Whitney has done, and it really is, it's not a facade. She has embraced Matthew and kept his legacy alive and continuing to make his memory so big.
Yeah.
And she's so proud of that. And you can tell it.
Totally.
In everything she does.
Even down to the Disney sticker on her badge. She said, it's okay that everyone assumes it's because I just like Disney. I know it's because of Matthew. Another great one. Thank you both. Thank you again to our guest, Whitney. We are here on the pod, whether people are dying in real time or over the past month. So we are excited to see you again. Excited to see who our guest will be next month. And you will have to tune in then to find out
Who died?
Guess Who Died is an Olivia's House production, sponsored in part by the M&M Lissauer Family Foundation.